Okay, we are looking at lesson 52 today. Rectangles, rhombuses, and squares. We're looking at the properties of those three figures. One property for rectangles, the diagonals are congruent. It tells us QU is 14 feet, and then we're supposed to find the length of RT. Is RT also going to be 14 feet? Why not, Bonnie? Only part of the diagonal is 14 feet. Does that make sense? So what would be this part of the diagonal? 14. Do you remember that the diagonals of rectangles bisect each other? They cut each other in half. So what would be the length of RT? 28. Any questions on that? Some of these properties you may have already been using and not even realizing it. Okay. A property of a rhombus, the diagonals are perpendicular. The diagonals also bisect the angles in a rhombus. So see if you can find the measure of each angle in the rhombus. What would you do to find the measures of the angles? Do you agree with that? What'd you get for n? And then how do you find the measure of the angle? So what would this angle be? And then the other angle? What would this whole angle be? What would this whole angle be? 120. Does that make sense? Remember that these two angles are bisected, and these two are bisected, and all four of them are the same. Likewise, these are the same, and these two are the same. Does that make sense? So they tell us it's a parallelogram, and I want you to figure out what type of parallelogram it is. Y'all get a Chick-fil-A or something. Not Chick-fil-A. I don't know. It's like not cafeteria food, I think. It's like real food. Huh? Yeah. So sometimes it'll be neither a rectangle nor a rhombus, but you got to figure out, are the diagonals congruent, and then are the diagonals perpendicular? Are the diagonals congruent? That would be one diagonal, right? How long is it? It's what? It's 8. And then how long is that one? So are those congruent? Mm-mm. So can it be a rectangle? No, because what do we know about rectangles? Their diagonals are congruent. Okay? Are the diagonals perpendicular? One's horizontal, one's vertical. It means they are perpendicular. So is it a rhombus? Yes. Does that make sense? That's all it has. All you have to do, figure out, are they congruent or are they perpendicular? Does that make sense? Any questions on that? Okay. And if it is both congruent and perpendicular, you know what it would be? A square. A square is a mixture of a rhombus and a rectangle. Like both of them together make a square. Alright, a rectangular deck rail is supported by diagonal braces. Determine the length of the brace that will be used for EG. what would you do? Okay, they want us to find the length of EG. We have this as 14. We don't know that. What is this side? That makes sense. Okay, so Pythagorean theorem would give you what? What? Does that make sense? Any questions on this lesson? None? Okay.